Got it. All good.
Good.
Yep.
All right, we're up and running. So yeah, Connor, thanks, brother. Appreciate you making this happen.
Thanks for having me.
Let people know you're a gym owner. What's the name of your gym and where are you located?
I own CrossFit Winnebago in Neenah, Wisconsin. So for like the games aware people, we're like an hour and a half northeast of Madison.
Okay. And any particular thing behind the name Winnebago?
If you're familiar with the map and you look at Wisconsin and there's that like big lake that looks like a county line,
Okay.
that's Lake Winnebago. So we're one of the cities that's on the lake, and um, it happened to work for the affiliate request back a couple of years ago.
Is it am I making the assumption, and does the water ever get cold or is it frigid year round?
No, it's a pretty shallow lake,
Does
so
it
it
ever get
gets
warm? I mean, does it ever get
yeah,
warm?
it's pretty shallow. I think it's 30 feet ish in the
Oh,
deepest
okay.
spot, so it gets really like soupy and not very fun to swim in.
Oh, no kidding. So I've only traveled out to Wisconsin, when the games was there, but it's, notorious for the winter as well. Is it the full 4 seasons, hot summers, cold winters, and everything in between?
Yeah, we get all of it. I lived in Canada for a couple of years playing junior hockey, like in the plains of Manitoba. So I don't think the winters are too bad here. Like our affiliate U program running a lot. We ran, I mean, man, we probably didn't go 2 weeks without having a running option for those that wanted it through the winter.
Okay.
Definitely inspired by some of the Facebook group too, seeing what some of the members were posting for their run setups. I was like, if they can do it, we can shuffle through the snow a little bit if we need to.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Give me a quick little taste. What's the hockey background? I think personally,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge I'm very ignorant to a lot of sports. My kid's very into sports, and I'm very unaware of sports. But even in my detached view of sports, it seems to me like hockey players don't get the respect or attention that they deserve for how demanding that sport seems and how
Yeah.
astonishingly athletic those guys are to do what they're doing on skates on ice.
Yeah, so I played hockey through college, I mean, moderate level D3. We went to the national tournament one of the years that I played there, and then
Nice.
finished my last 2 years playing club hockey, which is still travel. It's just there's not as big of a network in college, so they have like D1, D3, and then club D1, D2, and D3. So I played through high school. Got to go to a really cool school called Shattuck St. Mary's, which, if you know hockey, people like Sidney Crosby, Jonathan Toews, some of the newer names like Clayton Keller went there when I was there. Um, it just happened to be like 20 minutes from my hometown. My dad worked there, so I got a chance to go and play. I was not on any of the big teams. And then went up to Canada for a couple of years in Manitoba, played what's called junior hockey. You're in the Pacific Northwest, so you would probably know things um, like the Portland Winterhawks. Maybe you've heard that name
Okay.
before. It's not quite at that same level, but that age group, 18 to 20 or 16 to 20, kind of the gap between high school or prep sports and then college sports. Hockey's about the only sport that like does it that way. We didn't have to go to school. We didn't have to work. The team I played
Interesting.
for made us do something. So I volunteered in the classroom. That's how I got into teaching. And then, yeah, found my way to college for a few years, and we
Did
are.
you ever get just absolutely blindsided and wrecked?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that
yeah.
looks so brutal, man.
Yeah. I've had a few. I was more of like one of the physical people. I had a football background, so that was more the type of game that I played than like the finesse stuff. So I definitely got into it a little bit.
Yes. So you weren't afraid to level some people as well.
Yeah, but what comes with that is then people will then try to hit you. So I've given as much as I've received, and probably probably more. So
Oh, that's very cool. And so what led to the desire to be a gym owner?
yeah, so gosh, I trained as a means to an end growing up. I trained for sports, football, baseball, hockey, golf. Um, I never really liked it, to be totally transparent.
Hmm.
I had a little bit of exposure to CrossFit in high school. I just didn't know that's what it was. It was in like the 2012, 2014 range. I had some couple of guys that I played hockey with at that boarding school who were from the Santa Cruz area, so they had some
Okay.
attachment to CrossFit, and we're doing it in the gym. So I had a little bit of exposure then, um, probably just like tertiary interest, and then went to junior hockey. Was fortunate to play with somebody who plays for the Nashville Predators right now, and he was trained very intently, not CrossFit, but piqued my interest in it, or at least my like
Mm.
respect for training and the value that it had on athletic performance. So I was more interested in it then. Um, got to college, was coaching youth hockey camps for a summer job. And while I was coaching, the high school kids their program had them at the local CrossFit gym 2 days a week. The owner there, Nick Block, was he's been around the block a bit. Um, he had made the games in 2019 as an individual in the big year. He had qualified
Mm.
Granite Games. He was super generous to us coaches and gave us free training 2 days a week before the
Oh,
kids
that's
were
cool.
there. So put us through the ringer, but it was not. It was like way too. I was not modulating intensity well, and did too much too fast, and kind of burned out a little bit of it. But was interested and knew that I liked it. Um, and then I college career was kind of winding down. I had seen the documentaries on Netflix and got a little bit interested and thought CrossFit would be a nice like competitive outlet
Mm.
post hockey. I knew I was going to need to do something, didn't know what it was. I knew I liked the training style with CrossFit, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try this, as one naive young college kid can do. So I rejoined that gym down in Fond du Lac that Nick owned, started going a lot, and really quickly got beat up by like 40 and 50, 30, 40, 50 year olds, and pretty much
Amazing.
everything from Olympic lifting to powerlifting to cardio, you
It's a
name
humbling experience.
it. Yeah. Which was awesome. It was the best thing that ever happened to me because it made me start looking into what actually this thing was that I was doing,
Mm.
why I was seeing way more people who were in their 30s to 50s doing it and beyond than I was people that were my age.
Hmm.
What I saw up to that point was games athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And quickly started to realize, and through talking with people, learning their stories of how CrossFit had changed their lives for the better, got me very interested in it. And I started to pay attention to it more and more. I went to school to be a teacher. I finished school in 2020 when like I was doing my student teaching when the world shut down, and
Gotcha. Wow.
got
Yeah.
my first job as a teacher that fall. And to say that I went into a field that I wasn't expecting is probably an understatement. And
Mm-hmm.
after 2 years of that, I was like, I don't think I can do this for 30 years. Through that time, so I was like, if I can't do it for 30 years, I got to try something else. Um, I had known started to realize like I think I want to open a gym because there was not one in like my geographical area. I live in at the time Menasha, which is like 100. Appleton is the hub. There's about 120,000 people in the metro area. I lived in
Okay.
the geographical center of it, and the closest CrossFit gym to me was like 15 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
There was none in the city of Neenah, so I was like, I think there's a value and a need for it. So I left teaching to try and sell advertisements for a magazine, to hit it big as a salesman, to fund my CrossFit gym, and very quickly burned out of that, making
I
45,
bet.
60 cold calls a day, trying to sell ads to people that didn't want them. And,
Sounds like a tough gig, man.
yeah. So then found a different job working for a nonprofit staffing agency for autistic adults from home, um, and afforded me the flexibility to think like, oh, maybe this is the chance that I needed to open a gym. So 2023 came around. I was like, I think I'm gonna try and open a gym this year, see what happens, and a series of fortuitous events came about, and the gym opened on September 4th of 2023, and yeah, we're coming up on 2 years this in a couple months, and started we had one person walk in the doors on day one, and we're in the 80s now. So
Congratulations, man. It's your full-time gig?
no, I still work for that staffing agency.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, right now I can do both. I'd like to, at some point down the line, I think, but
Good for you, but you're making it happen. You're growing it intelligently.
Yeah, that's the goal. Slow growth is good growth, I think, and we've never had any like huge swings up or swings down. It's just kind of been a steady climb for the last 22 months. Um,
So you're still, within, let's say, the first couple of years, and most things are probably still fresh and recent in your head as to
yeah,
what went according to plan, what went wildly different, what you thought would be easy that was hard, or vice versa. And so
yeah,
I think a lot of people just figure, well, I love working. I'll open a gym. It'll be easy. You'll fill it with nice equipment, and people will show up, and like no worries. That's the job. And I think people are shocked as to how much actually goes into running a gym and making it happen. So while things are still fresh in your head, if people are out there interested in becoming a gym owner, what is your, I guess, honest feedback or lessons learned to this point that you wish you had known?
yeah. I I worked with. I started it without anything. So from January of 23 until October of 23. So all of these things I started, I'd listened to like two brain business things. I'd listened to best hour of their day things. I like the gym mentorship groups or gym owner mentorship groups. And I didn't jump on anything. I did best hour of their day a month after opening.
Okay.
Um, I thought I could do a lot of it on my own with just, I don't know, hard work and ignorance, I guess. And the things I learned from just being around other gym owners that I wouldn't have had access to otherwise, and like having talked to people that had done it, or just to have the um, opportunity to talk through situations gave
Mm.
me a lot of confidence to handle that I wouldn't have had otherwise. So pricing, onboarding, equipment,
Hmm.
locations, all of these things that I had made decisions on up to this point, but if you're going through a slump and not getting new members, you're like, what in the heck is happening? Did I make a horrible mistake? To have somebody to talk to about that was really valuable. Um, I did that for a year. I was maybe underestimating how much that type of mentorship would help. And I would
Mm.
definitely
Okay.
recommend it to people to find somebody, whether it's a paid group or you have somebody close by that that's done it
A
before.
support network.
Yeah, it was really valuable to me. Um, what are so the question was like, what are the things that did or didn't go according to plan?
I guess,
Um,
what you wish you'd known 2 years ago.
man, I it's been really hard. I think like there's been a lot of sleepless nights. Like, how do I handle this situation? How do I handle that situation? But we started renting space from a different gym. Um,
Mm.
that was really fortuitous. Like, I didn't have any huge overhead expense to start. My overhead expense was like my affiliate fee, my software, and a percentage of every member.
Hmm.
That was it to start. So I was able to keep my costs really low. I didn't have to do a huge equipment order because I was in a gym that had dumbbells and had barbells and had
Yeah,
pump.
nice.
So I was able to, as we got a few members, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get another rower. Okay, I'm gonna get another barbell. And um, we did that for about 8 months before we moved into our location. And then we didn't fill up the space right away. So we just have
Hmm.
space now with not a lot of equipment. And every month we were like, okay, let's add this, let's add that. And as much as there have been up and downs, I think the only thing I wish I would have known 2 years ago is to just like trust that
Mm.
what you're doing is helping people. I think it really took me until probably the last couple of months to be like, this is changing people's lives. This has impact. And
Which is so cool.
yeah, for the first year and a half, it was like, I know this does it, but like I don't believe that it's happening here.
Hmm.
And then that was hard. It was hard to get new members with that belief. And now it's like, no, I think if you come in and you put in the work and you do it the right way, like this will change your life. And I'm very confident in that now. And maybe I wish I would have had that confidence two
That's
years
cool.
ago.
No, that's very open and honest, and I think that will I think that will resonate honestly with a lot of people. You know, every gym owner that I talk to, and I've been very blessed and fortunate to talk to a lot of them, think that their gym members in their community is the coolest community in the face of the earth, as well they should, right?
Hang
So,
out, hang out with those people all the time. You should think that.
right. So for
Yeah.
people that haven't walked inside your gym, every gym has a different vibe. It skews older, skews younger, skews less competitive, more competitive, whatever it happens to be. Give us a sense of the vibe at your gym. What are your members like? What's the culture there?
So we are a lot of our members are parents of kids that are like 16 and younger.
Okay.
That's not not everybody, but that's a lot.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of that demographic that's in like the 30 to 50 range. One of my big goals with opening the gym was to expose a new population to CrossFit that maybe had preconceived notions about it, but hadn't done it or had tried it a little bit or had never tried it. My goal was to try and find to spread the message,
Mm.
not to attract competitive people. I like to compete. I don't push that on people. I think maybe you should try to open, just to
Hmm.
like see what that intensity is like. Um, to maybe worry less about the stimulus of the workout and to push yourself. But beyond that, it's um, we have some people that like to compete, but that's not the identity of our gym. The identity of our gym is just, hey, we're a bunch of people that are trying to get better in the gym so we can be better out of it is kind of our tagline. So I would say pretty much everybody kind of has that mentality of what we do in there, like what's written on the board, what scaling options that you do doesn't in a vacuum doesn't matter.
Hmm.
It really doesn't matter. If you snatch 200 pounds, it doesn't matter. If you run a sub 5 minute mile, that doesn't matter. What matters is like the frequent and consistent deposits into your fitness every
Oh,
day.
100%.
I've
100%.
gotten a lot of that from you, to be honest.
I stole it from somebody else, probably. I mean, I'm not gonna take any credit for
Yeah,
that.
but that we try to promote that as much as possible into our people. Like we don't do on our log books, we don't track RX or scaled.
Hmm.
It's just this is the workout, this is your result, that's what it is. Put a note so next time you know. Beyond that,
Awesome.
yeah. So I think that's probably a good picture. We got just a good group of people. Are we the best? No. Are we for everybody? No. But there are plenty of other places to go to, and fitness at the end of the day can be free.
How do you find that most people are, what's drawing them to walk in the doors of your gym and give it a try?
So we have a lot of our membership has come from referrals. So word of
Okay.
mouth from our memberships, and I think that's why we've had just kind of a steady growth.
Hmm.
The,
Which is cool because you wouldn't
yeah,
get referrals if what you're doing didn't work.
right. Yep. And so I think that that's meaningful. Beyond that, like what people are looking for when they're coming in, it's pretty generally like a little bit of weight loss, a little bit of like I want to be active for my kids. That's kind of our usually the why when people walk in for like our intros or our get started conversations,
Absolutely.
which I think is pretty standard. But what's cool, if you look at our Instagram, we've got stories of people who like they came in looking for one thing, and then after some time here, they're like, I do things that I didn't think were possible, and that's a, a story that a lot of people have experienced through CrossFit, but it's cool to see it play out in your own environment. I think is yeah.
100%, man. 100%. That's very cool. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be in my mind. That's what it's all about. I mean, everybody's got to earn a living in one way, shape, or form. But if you're able to do it and you really know you're helping people and making a positive impact, it doesn't make the work any less demanding, but it certainly makes it more rewarding. Like you know why you're there and you hear those stories. Maybe you're getting down on yourself as a gym owner or a trainer, you're not sure. And then somebody just walks up to you and tells you that story of something they couldn't do and now they can, and you're like, okay, I needed that little fire lit again. Thank you for that. That's why we're here. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. We just had one of our members is a principal, and he signed up for like our habit coaching in January. He's like, I just want to, he's in his 50s. He wanted to lose some of the, the 50,
Mhm.
the 50 weight gain, 50s weight gain that he had had. And he had lost a bunch of weight actually before coming to our gym. And we just did a highlight video on him over the things that he's accomplished the last 6 months. And he shared some cool things that I had like forgotten that we had worked on over the last 6 months. And it's just like, man, this is not all about getting double unders or
Mhm.
being able to do chest to bar pull-ups. It's, you know, working on things that are affecting lifestyle outside of the gym, and how the gym, just having a little motivation of doing better in the gym, can influence those outside lifestyle factors. And yeah, I just had that experience. I was watching this video back that our social media person had put together, and it like gave me goosebumps watching him talk
Oh,
about it.
that's what it's all about, man. That's super cool. Good on you. I mean, obviously, again, you're doing stuff right and you started small and you've grown, and the reason that you've had growth is because what you're doing works, and that's super cool. I'm always curious when I talk to gym owners that are doing Linchpin. I don't want to say that I'm shocked that they are, because that would be like a funny thing for me to say. It's like the owner
Yeah,
who obviously wants people to follow it, but I'm almost like kind of shocked that gyms are,
yeah.
because like in today's day and age, I almost feel like it's a hard sell, to be honest with you. And obviously I want Linchpin to be the best in the world. Like that's my ego. Like I want it to be the best. Why would I be doing it if I didn't want it to be the best? And so if I thought a different way of programming worked better than what we're doing, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Like my only concern is what works the best. I have no allegiance to anything else. But today, like in the strength plus metcon world, like the heavy lift every day, if I thought that worked better, we would be doing it, but I don't. But
Yep.
it's just so ubiquitous and it's everywhere that I think it's when a gym owner decides to not do that, it's almost like going against the grain. And I feel like it's a hard sell to people in 2025. So, what in the world led you to that decision?
Um, frugality.
That's amazing. Good for you.
um, when we opened, I'd come from a gym that did.
Hmm.
I didn't really love doing. I had done it for about 3 years. It wasn't for me. I got really good at CrossFit, and um, disclosure, I've gotten better at CrossFit since doing Linchpin.
Mm.
But to that time, it was hard. It was a hard like, we gotta stop doing that. So then, when I was opening, I was trying to be really frugal. Had mentioned how I tried to keep my costs low. If you noticed in there, I didn't have a programming subscription that I was paying for. Uh,
Mm.
so I had coached at a gym that did for a little while. I thought like warm ups were really hard to follow and run a class through. And you had posted something about your programming book around that time.
Oh, okay.
So I read your programming book and used that as a guide to program for the gym.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So we started with that. And again, attracting a membership base that was new to CrossFit. It was a relatively low lift to sell
Mm.
one thing.
Hmm.
So our classes were like 2 or 3 people most of the, like, I mean, those were big classes back in the day when we started. Um, so I started programming for the gym based on your book. And so we did that for the first 9 months of existence. Got harder as time went on. Like I was doing a bunch of other things, owning a gym. I've got 2 kids. I've got my own training. I've got another job. Like I was falling behind on staying on top of programming. And
I bet.
yeah, and had enough feedback from people about the strength and that kind. I was like, maybe we should try it. So
Mm.
starting in June of last year, and it's fine. I really like those guys. I listen to a lot of their um,
Good dudes.
information. They're good dudes. It's nothing about them. 5 months of their programming for the affiliate felt like I was doing more work to modify down. Like they have a fitness track and a compete track. I was trying to blend the two. It was a lot of work
Mm.
there, and it felt like we were doing a lot of the same workouts week to week. Like Monday is going to be this style of workout, Tuesday is going to be this style of workout, and it led to a lot of feedback in the group of like, my knees are aching, my back's aching. It was hard for our coaches to coach. Like we didn't have the time for progressions that we had been doing through the first 9 months.
Right, right.
So after October came and went, I think I'd done your like Linchpin's free month and just
Mm,
dipped a couple of those workouts into class to see what the feedback was. And it was good enough and it was really good for my coaches. So my thought was when I opened, I was being frugal. I tried to do this thing on my own, but I thought that was the best thing. And then we tried to go to the strength and metcon, and I saw more negative than positive come from it. If you're looking at just a plus delta sheet, and I was like, I'm not going to program again. Why wouldn't I just go to the guy who wrote the book that I've read to try and figure out how to programming? So, or how to program. So then we did that within our first week. First 2 weeks we did Beachbody. So
yeah.
this last month was our first retest. Our first retest of the monthly
Oh,
Linchpin.
cool. Retest. Good, good.
First one that we got. Like we had done a couple repeat workouts, but it was the
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
which was sweet. And so we bought in. I explained front loaded a lot of explanation of like, hey, we vary what we're doing. We're not doing cycles because you don't ever need like, I don't think a cycle trained back squat,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like all you're going to do is you're going to get to that number and then it's going to go back down when you get away from the back squat. And as just a piece. Now,
Mm-hmm.
there are certainly things that I have to change
Sure.
to meet the group's needs because at the end of the day, getting into the gym is better than cherry picking. So there are some program days
100%.
that I have to like um, we did so a little trick. I told most of the group this, so it'll be okay if they if they watch the interview. But it was the 250-meter row sprints
Yes. Yes.
a couple weeks ago. I changed it to a partner workout, 1-to-1.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I knew that would get more buy-in from the group. They were like, "Oh, 20 rounds of row sprints," and then after, of course, after the workout, you're devastated because that's not enough time to rest on a row sprint. I was like, "Yeah, that workout was supposed to be one round every three. What was it? One round every 3 minutes. So you're
Yeah,
supposed
that sounds about right,
to rest,
probably.
1 to 2 rest ratio." I was like, "Yeah, it was supposed to. You're supposed to have like an extra whole minute of rest." And they're like, "Why don't we do that?" I was like, "Y'all might not have showed up if I said 10 sets of 250-meter sprint."
Fair concern. That's a fair concern.
So there are certainly things we have to change. I can speak for myself. I used to do strength and metcon plus extra work for 4 years of my CrossFit career.
Mm.
I have PR'd my snatch, my clean and jerk, my back squat, my deadlift, my shoulder press, my push press. I've PR'd metcon workouts all in the last 9 months of doing Linchpin.
Well, I mean, A, I didn't know you were going to say that. B, it's obviously super cool to hear.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people will not think that you're lying, but they'll find it hard to believe. Like,
yeah,
how is this guy lifting less frequently? Because he used to lift heavy every day,
yeah.
but the numbers are going up. And what is your best guess?
We spend in our classes. I only take class. I think it's really important for me as an owner, I think, to do what we're doing.
Good
Uh,
for you, man.
I've
Yeah.
been at gyms where the owners didn't do that, and it led to a lot of people doing extra that didn't need it. So
Isn't that bizarre?
yep,
I hear that every now and then, and I think people are lying to me. They'll be like, "Oh, it's so cool that you do the Linchpin workouts." I'm like, "What else would I do?"
yeah. So full disclosure, I just won an RX CrossFit competition this weekend. Uh,
Oh, congratulations.
do- Only doing Linchpin. I didn't, I tested two of the workouts.
Congratulations, man.
But that it's a testament to like why do I think that is? In our classes we do progression work every day, so with the exception of like today's workout with the rope climbs and the bike
Mm.
cal sprints,
Which
right?
I need to do after we finish talking. I have dread.
I'm with that. I've had a lot of mixed feelings on that one. So with the exception of the days that are long or like I can't remember if I moved it, but tomorrow we're doing the 1 mile run and then we're doing box jumps instead of burpee box jumps.
Okay, okay.
uh, just with some of the other adjustments I made in the week, it didn't make sense to press again. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so then those days, like
Good
the
for
longer
seeing
work,
that, by the way. Oh, go
what?
ahead. Good for you for seeing that, like,
Yeah, yeah.
gross movement patterns.
We haven't snatched in a while, so I put snatches in for the Jorge partner workout. So
Awesome.
we press too much, we don't need to press again. So those days where it's like 40 minutes, it's tough to get a progression into class. But every
Mhm.
other day, we're doing a progression of movement, whether it's rowing, whether it's snatching, whether it's burpees, whatever it is, we're focusing on the technique for 10 to 15 minutes as a class. So I think that is a big part of it. And then really like hitting the intensity as the most important thing of the workout, whether that's heavy day, going as heavy as possible, whether that's
Mm.
um, a sprint day, truly sprinting. Like I've been
Dude,
made by a few workouts in the last year and a half.
sprinting.
Um, so I think that is what I would make it out to, like why that's happening is because hitting the intensity of the right, like nothing is quite as effective as intensity,
Mm.
right? And then so you have the technique, the mechanics first, and then doing that consistently, and then dosing your intensity where you're moving mechanically well consistently. It's a
Mhm.
really big message we have in our gym, and I think that's been the magic sauce for me.
Man, the sprinting. I wish more gyms
Yeah.
would sprinting, in my personal opinion, but like hundreds, 200s, 400s, those will hit your posterior chain like a 20 rep back squat if you really sprint.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those
Even
days give me the same nerves as a 5x5 back squat.
Yep. Even like the bikes, we talk about that a lot. Like I'm like when you see 6 to 10 rounds on a bike with like a lower calorie number than you think, like we talk about modulating intensity, and for most people, 1 to 2 really high pieces of work, like high intensity pieces of work a week makes sense. And like those are the days. So, like you gotta like taste gas.
Send it.
Like there, it's a relatively low impact movement.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like you're least likely to do something reckless on a bike. Uh,
Yeah. You're not going to get beat up. You're just going to feel like a truck hit you for a bit.
yeah. One of my coaches, it took her until 11 a.m. this morning to realize that she coached the 6 a.m. class after the 5 a.m. class, and she didn't put a Keurig cup in the coffee when she made the Keurig because she had just done a workout. It took her until 10 a.m. to realize that there wasn't coffee in her coffee cup.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
and
sounds like she did it right.
she did it right. Yeah. But yeah, those are the days like you're not going to get beat up. You're going to feel crappy for a little bit, but you're not going to be sore. Like you're going to be able to come back tomorrow. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
And and you just can't get that feeling if you're always slogging through heavy load.
yeah.
You just can't. Heavy load has its place. It's mission critical. Like
Mhm.
it's mission critical, but if it's every day, there's no way that that's not deteriorating something else. And I'm very happy to hear that your coaches, actually have the time to coach. I mean, that's what your members are there for. You can actually spend some meaningful time on progressions and technique. Like that warms my heart. I mean, that's why people probably walk into your gym. That's you're going there to pay for coaching.
Yeah, that's my belief, right? Like you can do this thing for a lot cheaper,
100%.
right? Like we you can go to CrossFit.com and do it in the park. Like you can do this thing that we're doing for way cheaper than what people pay to be a member at my gym, and there's a reason that they pay to be here, and that is to move well, to move safe, and be confident, and get some feedback, and then have some accountability with their friends, right?
Absolutely. Yep, for sure. But I mean, I couldn't agree with you anymore. Man, that's super cool. It is
Yeah,
these things, like when you hear one of your members or clients give you the story of like, hey, this went well, and you're like, that that put some wind in my sails again. Hearing these stories, like from somebody like yourself, puts the wind back in my sails. It's really cool to hear. Um, I'd be curious, if people are traveling around the world and maybe they make their way out to your neck of the woods, if you wouldn't mind, like let people know how can they find you, your gyms, the website, Instagram,
yeah.
like feel free to self-promote. Or if people have maybe they're a new gym owner and they'd like to pick your brain about something, how can they
Yeah.
find you?
The best way, we're CrossFit Winnebago. It's on the screen right here. On Instagram, just search that in the search bar will pop up. That's also our website, CrossFitWinnebago.com. Any of those messages that you would fill out in any of those avenues will go right to me. So if if it's somebody dropping in, that's a fellow Linchpinner. Um, actually, really funny story. Like Brian Tolley, I don't know if he posts because I don't look on the Linchpin leaderboard.
Yep.
He joined Linchpin after dropping in at our gym. He was a member at a gym and then liked
Oh,
what we
that's
were doing and
hysterical.
jumped into Linchpin. And does
Oh,
it,
that's awesome.
you know, I think he does it either out of a gym. I haven't talked to him in a minute since he's been out here, but yeah, I'm happy to talk shop. I'm happy to give any advice. I certainly don't have all the answers, but I know how hard it is to not have people to talk to. As far as like gym owners go, if you want to drop in, I'd love to have you. It's cool to see Lynch Pinners. We had a member that joined, and she's a rock star. She's in her 50s, and she's like one of our rocks at 8:30 class. But she had been a garage gym Lynch Pinner for a
Hmm.
couple of years, and one of the things that sold her initially on our gym was we did an hour long no sweat intro, and part of that we talked about linchpin and my beliefs behind it. And that was like for her, it felt like a safe place to come back to CrossFit that had been a scary thing for her to be in a gym. So
Oh, that's cool.
a couple of cool linchpin
Yeah,
like
man, that's super cool. Like I said, you're definitely doing it right, and I'm honored and proud to have you as part of the community and to know that, in some way, shape, or form, you're out there helping people and it's making people's lives better. It means a lot. So, Connor, keep it up, my friend. And if you find yourself in the greater Seattle area, shoot me an email.
I will shoot you. I'd like to pop by.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.